Now, Blue Ocean is another kind of a project or something which you have to basically, which gives you more better visualization of these plugins, okay, or these pipelines. Rather, I would say that any of these Jenkins pipeline, okay, this is just one of the example, but we will pick up one of a project only, and where we will start working on that project, that end to end, that how you can do a build, how you can do a test, how you can,
వాళ్ళ ఫ్రెండే ఉద్యోగం చేస్తాను.
how you can do the deploy and the other steps using this build pipeline. Now, the whole point here to understand is Jenkins has lot of pipelines. Okay, as and when we will move forward, we will use a different pipelines for a different projects. But understanding the concept is very important for anything. That how this pipeline behaves, what we call this pipeline, we call this pipeline as a Jenkins file. These are the things only which we call as a Jenkins file. There are two different kinds of a pipeline. One is a declarative, other one is a scripted pipeline, which we write it based on the syntactical differences only, which we'll talk about later. However, for each Jenkins pipeline, there are different stages, with each stages having steps inside it, and those stages and those steps you will define, and you will run the, or you will trigger your job, which will give you the stage view for Jenkins. Getting this point, guys? Any questions so far? Okay, can you duplicate your tab and open a new localhost colon 8080? Click on new item, give test pipeline, click on pipeline, yes. Okay, go down, go down, leave your description is not required on this. It's okay. You come down, scroll to the bottom, sir. Okay, when you click on try sample pipeline, okay, there is one pipeline known as GitHub plus Maven. Open, click on that. Now you see this pipeline, okay, just example. Now in this pipeline, it says this is the agent, what are the tools we are using, and along with the name and this thing. In the build step, now in the stage was a build. And what we are doing? We are doing the steps, right? The step is what? One, GitHub. That this is a GitHub. Okay, then you have to run the Maven as a Unix agent. Okay, come down and post means after build has been done, then what you have to do. So if the Maven was, if the Maven build is success, then run these tests. Okay, then run this test. So you can save this and you can run it as a test, and you can try this and see what it is doing. Yeah, Maven M3, it says does not have an install of M3 configured. So okay, it's because they have given their own in the own terms. So we have to either give a Maven as a null, or we have to see their repository, that what all things are there. Okay. Anyways, in the again in the same, go to configure, come down in the try sample pipeline, delete all this. Yeah, now go to try sample pipeline, click on the scripted pipeline. So these were what? These were the declarative pipelines. Okay. Now you see this is a scripted pipeline. A scripted pipeline works on a node and declarative pipeline works on a agent. Remember guys, declarative pipeline works on a agent. A scripted pipeline runs on a node. That's it. And now other things are same only. If you go down, scroll down, all other things are same
What is
only.
different? What is difference between node and agent? Sachin?
Yeah. Now node and agent in Jenkins are two important steps. In this, node is something which is like your slave nodes which are running. Okay. Whatever the pipeline which you perform or which will work, that will work in that particular dedicated node, the slave node or the master node, whatever you have defined. Whereas agent is something which will execute only on the environment of a Jenkins. Means uh, so it means that wherever your agent directive, the agent directive means what? Wherever you have written the agent, okay, that will be basically the agent directive. So for that it will run. Means agent, so it's very simple. Agent is for declarative, node is for scriptive. In declarative pipeline you use agent because mm, yeah. Now in Jenkins configuration we saw on that day that we have two things. One is manage node and clouds, other one is manage agents. So agents are also what? Agents are also node only, but they are running on specific particular server. So when we say that run it from this particular agent only, so it will run from that particular, the job to will be run on that particular node only, or on that, or we call that node as a agent. Okay. When it is about the node, that so node is nothing, again node is basically your slave servers or things which has been defined. So there is no such major difference. It's just the syntactical difference between the two. However, both of them works on the same funda.
Thank you. I share.
So it's okay. It might fail only because we don't know since when this project are there. This is just for syntax. But this is how your pipeline is created and written up. In next session, we will move on to the advanced Jenkins. But before that, in the 2 hours of a session, we will try to give 1 hour to the project where we will create some end-to-end project in Jenkins, which will help us to show us or see some of the real-time data. And in the end, we will do that. Meanwhile, I will also give you guys some project by the evening or by tomorrow morning, so that you guys can practice that project and see that what exact, and try your own to understand that how you can create a pipeline and how you can create the stuffs. Okay. Now everyone has Jenkins installed on their local system, so not an issue with the practice and those things also. Okay. So any questions so far? Any doubts? Everything is good with everyone?
Sachin, one question. Uh, when do we use scripted and when do we use declarative? That
Well,
like
so,
any kind of examples?
so people who didn't had a question, they will answer this because they were quite sure that they don't have question. My question, I was only going to ask this question. Tell.
I think, as you mentioned, the declarative pipeline will be executed only in a specific environment. So in that case, we need to use this type of pipelines.
Okay. Rajeshwari.
Yeah, I think that in scripted we have to like define the code like we did now for every block, so that it's performing a particular specific task. Wait for a minute.
Okay, Vithal.
Yeah, declarative is used in agent. Node was used in script.
So what's the difference?
I don't think there is no much difference. It is just the way of convenience and the comfortness of
Exactly.
individual.
Exactly. So both of them doesn't have any difference. It's just that dec- uh, the one that is just scripted, it follows a declarative follows a declarative programming model, whereas scripted follows an imperative programming model. Means they both run the same pipelines that's in the same per time, in the same scalability, in the same performance and everything. Okay, there is no any difference between that. The point is that only the declarative pipelines begins with the uh, like allows you to define the each stage into different things. Okay, like in each stage different steps are there, right? Or you can break down individual stages into multiple steps, and it follows a simple YAML concept, whereas scripted pipeline uses a Groovy code. Okay, and it refers to the Jenkins pipeline APIs and those things. Okay, the Jenkins pipeline API, the libraries and those things. So for which you have to uh, you don't either need the steps also, you can always define only stages, but with the declaration you saw that we needed the steps.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's just our own choice that how we are doing the CI/CD. There is no such like funda that which has to be used or which has not to be used. Okay,
Okay.
another question from me for people who, as when I asked that there are no questions. So did anyone didn't ask me that if I have to access all this from the backend or do any of the task from the backend, so how can I do that? How can I run Jenkins command line steps? Or if there is any such thing with respect to Jenkins command line. Jenkins does allow you the CLI and those things where you can download the Jenkins CLI, and using a Jenkins var file, you can create the build job, you can create the script for your build job and run through it, or you can create users and all those things. Okay, everything can be created from there itself. Go to the dashboard, click on dashboard. So just read about Jenkins CLI also. Go to, you're in dashboard, right? Go to manage Jenkins, come down, go to global system, configure system, I mean. Go to configure system. No one has asked so far how you are managing the users in Jenkins. Keep going down. Keep going down. Okay, and this it is not there. Yeah, this is how you can configure your email notifications. Okay, that let's say that if you want to receive a email and these things, you can configure this now. But anyways, leave this. So there is an option known as the configure global security. Why you guys are not seeing that? Under the manage Jenkins, there will be an option configure global security. Go to manage Jenkins. Plugin पे क्या करना है? Come down. Configure global security. Yep. And manage users. Go to the manage users. Leave all that first. Go to manage users. Manage users. Yep. Now you see here there is only one this user. Okay. Now click on create user. Come down. Leave all this. Now you can directly create user like that. Okay. Normally. Go back to manage Jenkins. Go back to configure global security. Now for each user there is a different type of a security you can do. Okay, right now whatever user you are creating or you will be creating, you will create it in Jenkins own user database. But if you click on this drop down, you can also configure a LDAP and those kind of configuration. You can install Active Directory plugin and you can configure ID also. Yeah, click on allow authorization, click on that. Logged in users can do anything. Yeah, now here there is a click on matrix based security. Now, for each user, whoever has been, whoever is being using or whoever is being part of your Jenkins, you can configure different security options, either a read only or write only from here. Okay, or there is a plugin named as role based strategy where you can create a role, and under that role you can configure the security and you can directly assign a role to the user. Okay, this is known as a matrix based security, or how you take care of your user security. Everyone getting it? And this is divided on each task, that how the task is there. So this is known as matrix based security or the workflow security and these things. Everyone clear?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll take a pause here only for today's session. There are few of the activities which are there, okay, which we will be taking in the next class, and it will be complete practical class only. I'll tell you guys what all things to be installed beforehand, and I'll send you the document for that, so make sure you guys install that now. Okay, so how you guys
Should I stop sharing, Sachin?
have stopped? So how was the session as per you guys? How it is?